The sixth-day restoration, understanding Genesis 1:3-31. Continuing from our last lesson on Genesis 1:1-2, we now examine the sixth-day restoration, God's act of renewing the earth after its prior destruction. This study will rely solely on the Hebrew manuscripts, E.W. Bullinger's Companion Bible, with the 198 appendixes, the Strong's Concordance, and Smith's Bible Dictionary, to ensure accuracy without human speculation. Genesis 1:3-5. The first day, light restored. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Genesis 1:3, King James Version. This light is not the sun or moon, but the restoration of divine order after the earth had become tohu vabohu, without form and void. Genesis 1:1-2. The Strong's Concordance confirms that the Hebrew word or signifies illumination, revelation, and divine presence. John 8:12 identifies Jesus as the light of the world, reinforcing that God's first act was restoring spiritual order, and God divided the light from the darkness. Genesis 1:4. This symbolizes the separation of truth from deception. 2 Corinthians 6:14 states, "What communion hath light with darkness? And the evening and the morning were the first day." Genesis 1:5. The Hebrew structure, evening and morning, reflects a period of restoration, not original creation. Genesis 1:6-8. The second day, the firmament. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters." Genesis 1:6. The Hebrew word rakia means expanse or stretched out space. This is not the creation of the heavens, but rather a separation of the waters that had covered the earth. Appendix 12 of Bullinger's Companion Bible states that the waters were divided into celestial, above the firmament, and terrestrial, on earth. Genesis 1:9-13. The third day, dry land and vegetation. Let the dry land appear, and God called the dry land earth. Genesis 1:9-10. The earth was already created in Genesis 1:1, but had been submerged under judgmental waters. Psalm 104:6. God restored the land, allowing life to flourish again. Let the earth bring forth grass, herbs, and fruit trees. Genesis 1:11. Plants were not created here. They were reintroduced after being wiped out. This refutes the false assumption that the world was empty before Adam. Genesis 1:14-19. The fourth day, the sun, moon, and stars. Let there be lights in the firmament to divide the day from the night. Genesis 1:14. The sun and moon already existed, but were now visible again after atmospheric clearing. Appendix 5, Bullinger. The stars were set as signs. Genesis 1:14, which aligns with the Masorah, Job 38:31-33, God's heavenly plan. Genesis 1:20-23, the fifth day, marine and bird life. Let the waters bring forth abundantly. Genesis 1:20, marine life was reestablished, not originally created here. The Hebrew nephesh, soul living creatures, appears, indicating sentient life. Genesis 1:24-31. The sixth day, land animals and mankind. Let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind. Genesis 1:24. Animals were restored according to their kind, a principle that refutes evolutionary cross-species changes. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Genesis 1:26. The Hebrew Elohim shows God and his divine counsel. Adam was formed later in Genesis 2:7, meaning Genesis 1:26 refers to the general creation of mankind. Appendix 14 of Bullinger's notes that Adam means ruddy, to show blood in the face, identifying a specific lineage. Understanding the six-day restoration 1. It was a restoration, not original creation. aligning with 2 Peter 3:5-7. 2. God re-established order after Satan's rebellion, Isaiah 14:12-17. Third man was placed in a structured, restored world, not an empty void. Final thought. The six-day restoration teaches us that God is not the author of confusion, 1 Corinthians 14:33, but of order and renewal. To be continued in our next lesson, the formation of Adam and Eve.